Welcome back to another episode of Heritage Recreation's YouTube channel. Today we're away at Area 51. So Area 51 is a hidden away crash repair business in the outskirts of Adelaide. It will remain nameless for the time being, but this is where the VR has come to have the front end repaired. So Rob is the master behind the repair of the front end of this car. We've come up here today to have a look at the car and just to go through some of the methodologies on what we're thinking about getting the car straightened up. So as we know from the previous videos, the front left took a pretty solid hit and destroyed the front bumper bar. The guards were knackered as well, and we've got a whole complete section to weld on. So that's sort of where we're at the moment. Now Rob's brought the car up here. He's got it set up on the jig so we can get all the measurements completely correct. It's got a couple of issues with the door alignment, which Rob's now started to get that straight. And looking underneath the car, there's a few dents which, whilst the car's here, Rob's going to go through and get that straightened up. So in a second, I'll just go through and show you all the dents underneath the car, and I might throw it to Rob, who is watching on, just to ask a couple of questions on how he's going to tackle some of the issues with this car. So here we are underneath the floor of the VR Clubsport build number 461. As you can see just under there, we've actually got quite a big hit to the floor section. That's just behind the front seat. What we're thinking about doing is removing the whole rear cradle. So the diff, the whole brake section there is all going to come out and get all new bushes put into it and painted up, so that when the floor section of the car is all finished, then it can just be bolted up and away we go. There's also been a couple of, as you can see there, some dents in through there. And if you look at the sill panel's got a few dents moving up to this section here. So they're all going to be repaired in due course, and you can see there someone's actually jacked it up from the wrong place, which has completely quashed these areas here. So we're going to get them replaced in due course as well. Okay, now we're just going through the front end repairs, and Rob's actually gone through the front spoiler. You can see there it's actually done the normal repairs down there. You can see where the tabs go in through this section here. They tend to tear off, and he's gone through and he's done a two-part epoxy repair on that. He's got to do a little bit of more refinishing, and then that will be perfect to go back on the car. This is the first time in 10 years the car's actually had a front end back on it that's not damaged. As you can see, it's got a rad support on it now, which it didn't have when we first bought the car. For some reason, they pulled the rad support off. And he's actually welded in a new front end. As you can see, the battery tray in it is rust-free. The rail is now straight, and it's all been welded up through and up almost back to the firewall. The global jig did its job, and this is within the correct measurements it's supposed to have, and I'll post some pictures up during the week. Rob actually had the bonnet on it, the guards, headlights, front bar was on. It actually looked pretty cool. I said to one of the other co-owners, looked very similar to the VR VS V8 supercar builds I used to see in photographs as they're going through the build process. Actually looked pretty cool. So the next stage is taking this car down to Phoenix Mechanical, where we'll take the trim out, and then we'll come back here. There's quite a few dents underneath the floor, so we'll come back through here and have all the dents repaired properly. The interior will come out, seats will come out, carpet will come out, and then Pete at Phoenix Mechanical is actually going to give the car a chemical clean, so all the floor will be perfect for when it comes back here to be redone. Rear cradle will come out, and that will have all the bushes redone or all be properly cleaned. Front K-frame will have all the bushes replaced in that as well, and that'll all be cleaned up and painted. So by the time the car is finished and the front end is ready to go back in, we won't need to rework it. Everything will go back in new, ready to go. So yes, progress has been very rapid on the VR. We're quite happy with where it's sitting at the moment. The trim will be the next part. We're still got to make a decision how far we're going to go with that, because as it stands, we are going to be over-capitalising this car. It was something we wanted to avoid, but the reality is, with the amount of issues that the car has, naturally, with the front-end repair to the depth that we're going to go to with the car, it needed to be done properly, and it's not a cheap process. So it is what it is. We'll keep persevering with the car because it needs to get to that stage that we're happy with it. We're just discussing how far we're going to be going with the interior trim on it, because there's actually quite a few. If I just open up the back door here, if we have a look through here, just seeing that section there, we've got some cigarette burns through, some in the vinyl. Door trim's looking pretty secondhand as well, but we know that retrimming this back to factory standard will be quite expensive. So what is likely to happen is this car will get all the running gear put into it, have the front and rear ends done, the suspension done, all the bushes done. The trans will be rebuilt, that'll go into the car. We still haven't determined what the engine specifications will be for the car, but once that's done, then we'll have it all painted up, and then we'll decide afterwards exactly what we're going to be doing with the trim, because the reality is we're looking at quite a bit of money to get that done. I'm not sure if you can see with those seats, the left and right seat are actually sort of bent down to the trans tunnel, so I'm not sure if the frames are cracked and broken or whether people getting in and out of the car, it's actually created some dents on the inside. It's actually made the seat rail sort of collapse into the middle of the car, so all those things will be addressed, but that's a problem we'll have to sort out a bit later. So for now, the car will go down to the next stage, which will mean cleaning, interior removal, a little bit more crash repair work on it, and then we'll sort of get into the stage of getting some paint onto the car. So it's getting very, very close to getting onto the road. We'd be expecting that. We're sort of in the start of June now, so we're sort of hopeful that everything should be finished by sort of August, September, October, somewhere in around there. It all depends on what the crash repair has got on his books and how much work we can get done in our days off. But anyway, that's the update of the VR build number 461. Hopefully you've enjoyed this latest update on the car. Sorry it's been a little while, but we've been quite busy with other projects. But yes, front end on, looking supreme. We're very happy with Rob from Northeast Crash with the effort he's put into the car so far. So thanks guys, we'll see you in the next episode, which will hopefully outline the floor repairs. Cheers.